Aloha, my name is Nalani Kaauwai Brun, and I'm the director here at the Office of Economic Development. I'm a longtime resident here on Kaua'i. I've lived in Wailua for a long time in the Ahupua'a of Wailua, in the Moku of Puna, and I work right here in Lihui town at the Round Building. So let's see, what has changed in my community role in leadership here at the county is that I have definitely felt the weight of COVID-19 on my shoulders much more heavily than before, and mostly because I feel the weight of the needs of the community who we all want to support as we move forward. And we also had to take a lot of new calculated risks, though. So we needed to do that and try to move as quickly forward and out of this as we could, and that's just part of what the Office of Economic Development does. And definitely, I had to dig deep, and I dug deep not just for additional strength to get through these very, very long months, but also because I needed to learn to ask for help more. And that, of course, is what gave me the most hope coming out of COVID, is that when I asked for help, the response from the community was overwhelming. The response from our staff was overwhelming. Everyone was willing to give more than I thought they could give. And so I feel that all of us are bleeding for our community, and that we love our community, and we will come out of this as a community and better for it, I'm sure. So mahalo. Mahalo to the YWCA.
Aloha, my name is Marisa Manzano. I own Verde Restaurant. We've been in business since 2008, so that's 12 years going on 13 years. But for the last 8 months, the pandemic has provided some challenges as far as running businesses. And what I've learned really, the takeaway is how the pandemic can easily shut my business down. We are being forced to face the real issue here, which is public health. And when my own personal motivation is really my 3-year-old son, you can't help but look at it in a bigger picture, that this is not about you anymore. It's not about your opinions anymore. It's about how will this affect other people who are more vulnerable than you are. And Verde is just a small vessel in this big, perfect storm, that we use that moral value to care about other people and use Verde as a platform. I'd like to introduce my office manager, Nicole Stewart. She's been with Verde for 8 years.
Hello, I'm Nicole Stewart. As Maris mentioned, I've been with Verde about 8 years, but our journey together started about 11 years ago, back in Kaua'i. And it's just an honor working with her, knowing the type of person she is and how she leads her business with her heart. So every step of the way, we're in agreement with how she moves forward during these hard times, and it's been an honor to do so.
And I'd like to introduce our chef, Kristen Yoragawa. And she's been holding our flagship here in Lihui.
It's been a great honor to be working for this company. We've accommodated a lot of adoptions to this community to support and help everyone. Our customers that stay positive with our changes every single week. We'd also like to thank the staff that adapts really quickly with the changes. Even our boss, Maris. She's always been giving us challenges every week, and we've been coming across to make it happen. We are looking forward to servicing the community of Kaua'i, and thank you for your support.
I'd like to say mahalo to the Kaua'i community for supporting us, local businesses. Every order counts, and we will get through this together.
Aloha, my name is Marisa Tabalno. I am the co-owner of Kaua'i CrossFit. with my husband, Adam Tabalno. I also am an acute care nurse practitioner at Wilcox Hospital. My specialty is actually in oncology there, and it's a pleasure to be able to take care of our community and those folks suffering from cancer. So as a business owner and leader here on the island, interestingly enough, my husband and I acquired the business in the beginning of COVID. And so that was really a high risk, high reward, right? That's how everything wound up. And we really needed to be innovative. We run a gym. All the gyms shut down. The whole island shut down. And we needed to find ways and opportunities to be able to keep the members of the gym and the community not only interested but engaged, because we promote, you know, having this healthy lifestyle where everybody was stuck in their house. And so we went ahead and, like pretty much the rest of the world, did everything on Zoom. But not only did we educate and teach the classes on Zoom, we made exciting days, so dress-up days, and meetings once a week, so that way all the members can gather together, so we can keep the community as a whole, because that's what we do in CrossFit. It's really, truly one ohana. And then on the other half of what I do for a living, we also very much had to be innovative. You know, we touch patients, we examine them, we have to be face-to-face with them on a regular basis, which was certainly presenting a challenge. And with oncology, we had to give chemotherapy to patients who their lives depended on it. So we masked up and gowned up and sometimes felt like I was in a hazmat suit, but we, you know, adapted and overcame. And then we also decided that doing things via telemedicine was really, quite frankly, a game changer. And so we were able to acquire, you know, webcams and set folks up, even the elderly folks in the population, to be able to have access to us via a video, so we can do most of our exam that way and make sure that they were getting the care that they needed, and not only just the care, but the, you know, exceptional care they deserve. So what gives us, and I say us because this is a conversation that my husband and I have on a regular basis, hope as business owners, is the phenomenal changes that we've seen within the gym as a whole during COVID. Our members were 100% committed to us during the challenges of not being able to physically go to the gym. And so we were able to actually grow the business. So COVID not only presented some challenges, but a huge amount of hope, because we've increased our members, we've increased the functionality of our gym. We've actually had to move our gym in the middle of the business because of some structural issues at a prior facility. And that in itself is hope, right? You have people who are just committed to coming in, and you pretty much continue to help them mold and shape their lives. So we've been really blessed. And then as far as hope for what I do for a living, I've been doing that for 17 years. And I have one of the most challenging jobs that I have done in my career, working with some seriously ill patients on this island, and it's been an honor. And the hope that I have is that I can bring phenomenal care to these patients who so desperately need it and deserve it. And I really look forward to continuing to work within the healthcare system and the community to be able to provide access to care that is so desperately needed on the island.
Hello, I'm Janet Berreman, and as I reflect on leadership during the COVID pandemic, I think, and how leadership has changed during that, I really think the primary impact has been to deepen my understanding of what it means to be a leader. And when I think about being a leader, I think about three kind of categories. I think about providing vision and direction and a steady hand at the helm. I think about building on relationships and nurturing relationships, and I think about rolling up my sleeves and doing tasks. So in the first of those areas, providing vision and direction, That's been particularly challenging in COVID. Probably that's been the most challenging area, because while we all know where we want to get at the end, we want to be on the other side of COVID-19, we don't know how we're going to get there or what the path to that is going to look like. And it's relatively easy as a leader to provide clear direction and goals and a clear path to getting there when you know a lot about how to do that. But when the path is less clear, and knowledge about the pandemic and the science about the pandemic and the impact of policies is evolving literally every day, leadership has to be nimble, and in order to retain the trust and credibility of those that we lead, it also needs to be transparent. So when the direction needs to shift frequently, sometimes very frequently, it's important that leaders be communicating what they're doing and why they're doing it, what they know and what they don't know, and the fact that the plan and direction that we make today is going to change in the future and may even change as soon as tomorrow, depending on circumstances. And part of our ability to do that effectively is related to the relationships that we have in the community. And so relationships and the importance of them is the other area that has been really reinforced and brought home to me strongly during the COVID-19 pandemic. I can honestly say that from the first day of the response, not a day has gone by that my work has not been made easier by the relationships that I have in the community and the secondary relationships that those people have with others. And I'm sure that that's true for all of us in leadership positions. And then the final area of leadership that's been deepened for me is thinking about the tasks that we do as leaders. And I would say that I've broadened my understanding of what those tasks can look like, and that they run the gamut from high-level policy decisions and decision-making and being at the table, providing information in ways that are actionable and understandable, and making hard calls when hard calls need to be made. Another type of task is having hard conversations. And that can mean speaking truth to power, but even more importantly, leaders are in positions of power. And leaders need to allow others to speak their truth to us, and not only to allow people to speak that truth, but we need to hear that truth and incorporate that truth into our decision making and our leadership. And that's a task too. And then the final type of task is what we think of more when we think about tasks, showing up tomorrow to help with the COVID community testing program or recording public service announcements for the radio. And all of those tasks together do a couple of things. Clearly, they accomplish the explicit task in front of us. But the other thing that they do is they demonstrate publicly that we are taking action, not just words. And if there's anything I've learned about leadership over the years, it's that leadership is built on trust, and trust is built on actions, not on words. And when we are transparent in our vision and communication about it, when we are transparent with the people with whom we have relationships and partnerships, and when we're visible in our actions, we can build that trust, and that helps us effectively lead. When I think about what gives me hope in this situation, it's really that I see leaders at every level and every sector in our community here on Kaua'i. And when I say leaders, I don't just mean elected people and people in positions of high authority or supervising or managing things. I mean leaders in families, leaders in households, leaders in neighborhoods and communities, leaders in churches and nonprofits and in businesses and in elected positions and in government. And all of those leaders are doing all of the things that I talked about. And they all understand, and we all understand on Kaua'i, because we've been through adversity before, what it takes to navigate through adversity successfully. And having been through Hurricane Iniki and the floods in 2018, we know that caring for each other in our communities and accepting shared responsibility for how we navigate through adversity is how we do that successfully. And we know that not just in our heads, we know it in our hearts and souls because we have done it. And that gives me hope. The election gives me hope also. And finally, what I wanted to just say one other thing about leadership, which is that leadership is a privilege. It's always a privilege. And I am extremely grateful for the opportunity to do this work in these times for Kaua'i. Thank you.